out there are like, what are they talking about? I just create these little videos with the music of the artist, and I just, poke fun at them. And it's on my Facebook page. That's Facebook.com/CPR's Clubhouse. You're on Twitter and you're on Facebook. Do you want to promote that?
I'm on Jill Tirrell everywhere. At Jill Tirrell on Instagram, Jill Tirrell Music on Facebook. Vacuum is so high.
Yeah, the vacuum is on high, yeah. So we're Jill Tirrelling right now. That's another thing.
I love Jill Tirrelling. Hashtag
Jill Tirrelling. That's something I came up with.
Yes, you did. That's your coined phrase. Oh, guess what? When I was walking in here, guess what I found?
A picture of Melissa.
No, I can't wait to meet Melissa.
I can't wait for her to meet you, but not here. Hopefully she's not. Oh, is that her outside? She got the vacuum on high. Anyways.
When I was walking in, a heads up penny. And I don't even care if they're heads up or heads down, but that was such a good sign. And then I picked it up and it said 2014.
Nice.
Yeah, total sign. Yay. You're buzzing on
So now that you have Real Love released, what's next for you? I mean, you have a video for every song that you've put out. Real Love was one that was near and dear to you. You had a lot to do with that song, correct?
Yeah, I have a lot to do with all of my songs. So far, I've written all my songs. I mean, the one with Julio, I wrote half. My part.
Good.
But
yeah. And that was a unique song in itself because it was different. The guy's talking about, do you think of me when you're alone? She's like, hell no, I'm trying to get away from you.
Right. When he first had sent it to me, the melodies were the same and the chord progressions were the same, but the lyrical content was half different. His stayed the same, but I said, listen, do you mind if I change half of this song? I want to write something different. I don't want to keep going where you're going. He said, yeah, do whatever you want. You're cool. So I changed it, and he was cool, and I made it that I had to get the hell away.
Yes, and I loved it because it was different. So Real Love, where did that story come from? Is that factual? Are you looking for real love?
Well, it doesn't say I'm looking for real love. It says I want a real love.
Well,
which, doesn't everyone? I wouldn't say I'm looking, but yeah, I would definitely take it. I'm open for it. It's hard for me, CPR.
So Mother's Day, I get you a vacuum and put it on high.
No problem, yes. Right to my heart. I love my shark, actually. Got it from Costco.
See, I knew you got a shark from Costco.
But I think everything that I write comes from some type of personal place. And usually it's easiest to write about something that you feel, So I guess at that moment, the lyrical content of the song is just that. And it doesn't even have to be with like a lover love. It could be with anybody, like people who just want to be around you for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it could be the audience that you want support from. You want the real love. Yeah,
I do. I get their real love.
Yeah,
I do.
You've been in the New York scene. How's that so far for you? Has it been hard to break through the New York scene, the freestyle New York scene, or has it been easy? I know that you have somebody representing you, Andre Faria, 6 Sense. Mm-hmm. How's that experience going?
Andre Faria helps me a lot. He gets me booked on really big shows, which is really cool. And like I keep saying, it's like a dream. I'm really grateful for the opportunities that I have. I don't know if it's hard or not, because I don't have anything to compare it to. It's just what is happening, and I feel like I'm really lucky that I'm taken seriously, and that I'm given these opportunities, and that I get to open for George Lamond and TKA, and that I get to do this because not everyone does.
TKA K7 just called me right now before you came in and said break a leg. So
oh yay! I love K. He's very cool. All of them are so nice, gracious with giving advice, and really wonderful. No one ever throws any kind of shade at me. People are, the bigger the artist, the nicer they are.
I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that K7 will be one of my best friends, but
so cool.
He is, and I grew up, listening to his music, playing his music, wanted to be on the radio playing his music, so it's kind of overwhelming sometimes, and it's overwhelming right now to finally have you here in the studio, and sometimes I play it cool, but you can see that, my armor is chinked a little bit, and that's because we've come full circle. We started having you here on the radio. via telephone. We had even your kid on
Oh yeah, we
on
had
the
the
radio.
sleepover party.
The sleepover
You
party.
called me out. You mommed me up that night really bad.
Yes.
I told CPR in confidence, listen, I will do the phoner tonight, but I'm having a sleepover with like 8 little girls. So it has to be quick. And as soon as I get on air, he's like, so you're having a sleepover with 8 little girls. And I'm like, all right.
Is that what I sound like?
Yeah.
I sound like a munchkin from Wonderland, or
Well, you have like that powerful,
no, that wasn't powerful at all. It's like I sucked on helium for an hour.
Sorry. Sorry, that was my rendition. But yeah, so I was like, all right, let's throw these girls on air. But yeah, I'm glad that we've come full circle. I'm really grateful to you. You say, is it hard? The thing that's hard is to get on the radio, especially in New York. New York radio, that's like, if you get on New York radio, you're off the island. I'm still kind of on the island. And I think that's the main difference between, the people on the come up like me and classic artists. They had their songs. They were like, number one hits on radio stations.
Right.
They had crazy exposure. For me, it's been a lot more organic.
Yeah, and that's the best part, too, that has happened naturally and organically, and that you have a fan base. I mean, I just posted that you were going to be here, and, minutes later, it's like 135 likes and a bunch of comments, and everybody saying how sweet and nice you are. They don't really know her personally like I do.
Yes, we're best
When I turned
friends.
his mic off, she's going to have her pip hand and smack me sideways, and she's like, don't you ever talk to me like that again.
That's how I talk.
I don't know. I was just trying
you
to
ever.
talk to me like that again.
Don't you ever talk to me like that again.
Like something like that. But last week I was playing your song and I was saying, you're looking for real love. I'm right here, below the woods, baby. And then, like,
You know what? That's what you do. You got to throw it out into the universe and look what happens.
yeah, you're here
Hello?
live in the studio with me, and I'm over here like all nervous not because you're here, but you have a bodyguard right over there. And he's a real legitimate bodyguard, and he's not even
Yes, he is.
sweating me right now. He's like, say something else. Say something else. Yeah. Say real love. Say the vacuum is on high one more time and see what happens.
You think Mr. E isn't looking, and he's watching. He's watching the whole time.
Mr. E is the coolest, calmest, and most collected person I've met in a long time. He's just chilling.
It makes me feel happy when
He doesn't
he's
even.
here.
He doesn't sweat. He doesn't flinch. Nothing. And
I go out and do shows, and people want to take pictures with Mr. E, right? Like, it's like, oh, yeah, you were great. Can I take a picture with him?
nice.
Sure. Yeah.
Nice. Now, what about your dancers? What are your dancers' names? The ones that you were featured on that particular show that's available online that people can actually look at online. Look for Jill Tirrell on YouTube and see some of the performances. They're very well done.
They're fantastic. Jeff Cowens is not only a dancer for me, he's my main choreographer, and he put together the whole show. I contacted him. He goes out with Crystal Waters a lot, and they tour a lot. But I contacted him and I said, I really want to come correct with this show, and I want to take it up, step it up a notch. I was so new at performing, and before I even involved dancers, I wanted to make sure that I was straight up there alone and that I could do it and I was okay. And then when I did the duet with Julio, it made it even easier for me because Julio would break my ice a little bit. I would get super nervous up there. And so finally, when I felt like everything was cool, I was doing it for a few months, I contacted Jeff, my choreographer, and he put together this show. And, I have a few guys, Ko and Carlton, and different guys that come out and dance for me.
All your videos right now are also available on Vivo, which
Yes.
is very, very interesting for me. How, again, you're a self-promoter, you get yourself onto these places. And so when you put yourself on Vivo, I'm like, she's the real deal. She's not messing around. And, if you have Vivo, the app, you can also go on YouTube and check out Jill Tirrell's Be With You Tonight. You can also check out the duet, Jill Tirrell and Julio Mena Runaway. The video's available right now. And also the new song, Real Love, where you can see her with a vacuum on high
Thank
on
you
YouTube.
for plugging it for me. That's very nice. I waited a really long time to do this. I was in the industry on the inside, and I felt like for a long time in my life, I couldn't do what I wanted to do for, my personal reasons. I had a different life. And one day I just decided, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change it and go for my dreams and do what I want to do. And so I'm really concerned with everything that I do, that it's the right way. When you talk about like our little miscommunication, it comes from a good place in my heart. Like it comes from just my intention of just putting out the best possible product. And
Even though we had, I'll explain it. There was an issue with Runaway, the song. When it was in demo form, I was given the demo form, and it wasn't a finished product. No one consulted with Jill. And
I was like, oh, hell no, you're not putting that on the air. And he's
Yes.
like, yes, I am. I'm a DJ for 25 years. And I was like, no, you're not.
Wow, I love the way she just recapped the whole thing in seconds. But what happened was that, Julio gave me Runaway, said I was, the one with the exclusive. Go ahead, play it this week. It doesn't matter. And then Jill called and was like, no, you're not playing it. And I'm like, well, you can't take a song back from a radio show. You know what I mean? But because you were working with Julio, and I know how things could be, he could be very eager. I respected that, and
I understand that. I understand, like, an eager, it's like your baby, your music. You make it, and as soon as you're done, you're like, oh, I want everyone to hear this, But sometimes you have to wait. Like, babies, sometimes they're not cute when they're first born. You wait a few months, and they get a lot better.
I resented the song though for a while. I did. I was like, I don't care. You know what I mean? It just and it was because of it had the bad taste in my mouth situation.
That's understandable.
And it's like, I can't believe, we had a great friendship, and then after that she's like, I'm suing you, CPR, if you play my song. And I'm like, Jill, is that you?
No.
Hello, Jill?
I wasn't going to do that.
There was a small war going on, and just a 30-second phone call from Todd Terry changed it all. It says, like, it's kind of unique when you have Todd Terry calling you and say, hey.
Yeah, I was no part of that. I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah, Todd Terry called me up and said, hey, what's going on with you and Julio? I'm like, oh, God, you're involved in this too? So it was, it was Todd Terry who mended the fences. But
my whole point is that for me, I wasn't coming from like a nasty...
No, I know, and I totally respected you for the fact that you were sticking up for what you believed in, and that you were taking care of yourself. And I understood completely because I've dealt with Julio forever. And so, I understand that he could be overzealous and he wants to have the exclusive. So I do appreciate that as well. The fact
I would totally want you to have the exclusive too. Like, that's totally cool, great. And you guys are boys and you're from the same area, and great. But it had to be right first. Like, that's my whole point.
And it wasn't. You're completely right, because I have the demo and, the whole package when it was released months later and the video came out with it. You totally understand it. You're like, great. It worked out for the song, and it's probably the most popular song duet on the show. Maybe it's because of Melissa, but whatever the case.
Melissa de Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Melissa's a super fan. It's George Lamont on one wall, Jill Tirrell on the other.
You know what? I'm giving Melissa a lot of attention, and she deserves it. But there are a lot of people who are tuned in who have hit me up. Victor, a lot of people who are telling me, Terry, a lot of people are tuning in right now.
Mickey Covey?
Yep, Mickey's tuned in. A lot of people are tuned in, and, I really appreciate it.
Terry Lou Rivera is also listening. There's some other folks that are logged into you. Steve Rutigliano, Anthony Menino.
All these guys are really big supporters. I really appreciate it.
Reese Morales Pagan.
Oh, hey.
G.A. George Anthony.
I called George when I was on my way. And I said, what does CPR like to eat? I'm so sorry I don't have anything. I just wanted to get here and make sure I was here in enough time to sit down and talk with you and give you proper time. But I really wanted to bring like some banana.
Your milkshake brought me to the yard. Don't worry about it.
It brings all the boys.
Yes. Well, Jill Tirrell, thank you so much. Good luck tonight. I know you got to get going. You got a show to prepare for.
Yes, and we have the countdown right now.
The countdown, it won't be available. There is a countdown coming up. It's the countdown for Cutting Records. It's a countdown that we did a few months back where we celebrated Cutting Records. There's a replay of that particular song coming up. I'm sorry, that show coming up. But next week, the countdown will return. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you'll be like number one next week, right?
Maybe. We'll see.
Because this is the only song that hasn't reached number one.
Oh, well then hello, people with the freak.
Exactly.
Better be.
Anything you want to say before I get out of here?
What do I want to say? I am doing a show at Resorts World Casino with Tony Moran, which I'm super excited about. Next week, I think it is. Everything's on my Facebook, Jill Tirrell, or on sixthsense.com.
Even the music finished. What happened here?
Ooh. And, I have some new stuff coming up. I think you're going to like it, Jose.
I'm sure I am. One thing that I will say about you is the fact that you're persistent. And quality is your motive, so That's awesome.
Yes.
So thank you for coming live to the radio station. Good luck tonight on your show.
I'll see you later.
And say hello to the